Hi and welcome to Buzz's Backyard Barbecue. This is my Blooma Kinley Trolly Barbecue. I bought this about 10 years ago from B&Q. Like most enthusiastic barbecue guys, the old charcoal barbecue was left out in the rain over the winter. And now come spring, it's not looking its best. It's sad and rusty. And if you need to get ready for the summer barbecue season like me, it might be worth doing a makeover. I really like the design, but now it's looking a little sad and needs some TLC. The original plan was to replace it with a new Weber Master Touch, because I like the flexibility of the GBS system. But I also like the cart style design of my existing barbecue, so I looked at the 57cm Performer Deluxe, but couldn't justify the additional cost. There are a few things I don't like. There is no thermometer on the lid. The ash container is pretty shot, and I can't see an easy way to fit the Weber one-touch ash removal system. The top air vent is quite loose and doesn't stay in position without moving. One last thing is the starter chimney. As you can see, is not that functional as it doesn't have a mesh at the bottom to hold the charcoal. Apart from that, it just needs a really good clean. Must make a mental note to myself and buy a good quality cover for the winter to avoid this next year. So we need a new plan to update the barbecue to provide some of the much needed new features that won't break the bank. So now we can start the strip down. I want to remove the top air vent and handle. The air vent is riveted to the lid, so I will remove this by drilling the pop rivet out. Now the top vent is removed, I can clean and remove the dirt and grime underneath. Next, the top handle needs to be removed. The bolts were so rusty, I ended up cutting these out. The parts that have been removed have now been moved to the workshop and stripped down for cleaning. The rusty steel parts were cleaned up using a 240 grip pad. The aluminium parts were cleaned up using a buffing wheel. The aluminium parts have cleaned up okay, but the plastic pieces look a little dull. Hopefully some vinyl dash shine will help to restore them to their former glory. The rusty bolts have been replaced with new M6 nuts, bolts and washers. So the cleanup begins. I've used readily available household cleaning items. First I removed any loose junk from the kettle with a brush and sprayed the lid and lower half with Mr. Muscle Oven Cleaner and left it for 20 minutes. Then I rinsed it with water from my garden hose. If you are finding this video useful, please like and subscribe as this will help me to keep making more content like this. The results were okay, but not exactly showroom condition. I used a metal scouring pad and then a small plastic scraper to remove the last stubborn bits. So I think it looks as good as we are going to get. After all, this is a 10-year-old barbecue. So a little bit more of a clean, and it will be time to reassemble the parts that have been removed and refurbished. The cleaned up top vent has been given a new M6 bolt and wing nut, enabling me to adjust the tension if needed. The top vent and handle have now been refitted, and if I do say so, it's looking a lot better than before. The lower ash container has been cleaned and resprayed using black gloss enamel paint. Reassembly was completed, using new M6 nuts bolts and washers. This is now a lot smoother than before, and is ready for reinstallation to the now cleaned barbecue. The wooden prep deck has been removed and taken into the workshop for renovation. This will be sanded, first with a belt sander, and then finished with a detail sander before we apply 3 coats of yacht varnish to bring back the colour. While we wait for the varnish to dry, I've decided to replace the hinge bolts, using stainless steel bolts, along with wing nuts to enable a quick removal without the need for any tools, if the top of the kettle needs to be removed. While the varnish dries, we will continue with the cleanup. Although not perfect, I think this is looking okay. Time to fit the new thermometer. The position was marked with painter's tape and a pilot hole drilled. This was then enlarged using a step bit. The new thermometer was then installed in the lid. The cleaned up ash container and vent has been refitted and now works smoothly. Now the ash container has been refitted to the barbecue, I can replace the lower charcoal grate, which has been cleaned using soap and water. The original charcoal side grates didn't work that well, so these have been replaced by new stainless steel baskets from the B&B Smoking Co. This will now allow for better heat control and multi-zone cooking. The original wire cooking grate has been replaced by a 57cm cast iron grill from OnlyFire. This now gives me the flexibility of the Weber GBS system that I really wanted, allowing the installation of all the GBS compatible accessories. It also has these fabulous cross-hatching to allow searing the meat with great grill marks. So now I can turn my attention to refitting the wooden prep deck that has been sanded and varnished. It was sad and tired, but with a little bit of work it now has its rich colour back. The rusty bolts that secured the deck to the barbecue have been replaced. The barbecue has this really handy opening in the deck that houses a plastic bin with a marble insert, which allows for interchangeable assets such as a wooden chopping board or an ice bucket for wine and beer. I have a few ideas to use this for more accessories when I have time. Here I've installed 2 stainless steel trivets on the prep deck, giving protection for any hot items to be placed, without damaging the varnished woodwork. The original starter chimney has been replaced with a new Weber rapid fire starter chimney. This has transformed the charcoal lighting process. So this is now ready for the first cook, and time to ask, was it worth the time and energy to clean up this aging barbecue? My answer to that is yes, as I now have a fully functioning barbecue that looks really cool, and I'm excited about the wonderful barbecue parties to come, if the rain ever stops. Hope you have enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments. Thanks for watching.